Thank you for joining me on this different kind of video. It's a walk and talk. So I've been thinking about using AI, how I use AI, I should say, and after diagnosis of ADHD, autism, and other labels that I usually know, but those two are the big ones. So what I have done is I grabbed my ChatGPT account history and put it into Notion, and from there I was using ChatGPT to ask questions to Notion, and like using my ChatGPT connection to ask my workspace questions that I previously didn't know I was going to be asking myself. So one of the things I have asked is read between the lines and pull out scenes I may have missed. And they came back with very interesting ideas. But most of the stuff I already knew still. But it gives you insights where you may not think about having insights. So I would treat the data with some respect. What I mean by that is that just don't delete everything. Pull your history and review it. Ask questions to your past self via ChatGPT or any other AI agent or tool you use, or chat interface, and ask, like, take the context that all context. I don't mean just distractive. Copy everything, put into a place like Notion, and ask questions that you are curious about yourself. So, like I said, I asked ChatGPT to look into my past history and to ask, so like read between the lines and pull out information. And some of it was kind of interesting. What I mean by that is it pulled out some stuff that I didn't want to hear, but I should hear. So, and I took some of that to better help myself. So if you're thinking about doing that, leave a comment. And by the way, when you're there, in the description there is information on how you can contact me to work with me if you're in Canada. That is available. Anyway, back to me working with AI and my neurodiverse brain. I, before and during after going through the assessment process, I asked a lot of questions. I even asked the people who I was working with a lot of questions. I was giving a lot of information to them. So that's never a good use case for AI and other generative tools. But I would try to ground that information into what your context, not the generic internet stuff. And always, when you're doing this, make sure you have all your contacts enabled where you can. So, anyway, 1 second for a car. But yeah, that would be another thing you can do, like just ask questions about like what's considered like for you people who are autistic or ADHD, like what's masking. That would tell you what masking is, or what does it feel like to have a million tabs and open your head, stuff like that. But make sure you select the right tool for your job. Sometimes you need to have live information. So I would suggest you to turn on the web tool. It will pull in live information from open web, so you can get more recent information about what you're looking for. But you're looking for a deeper dive into your information, go into deep research mode. It'll definitely give you a lot more information. It takes longer, but it'll give you deeper insights and even into your own data. You can do research on your Notion, your memory, and your files that you upload. So that, I don't know about memory, but your workspace in Notion, in any files that you upload, it can do a deep dive. So you're looking for a lot of more detail. That's another way to do it. And I have talked about this in the past, but you can use like different kinds of analysis. One of the things I like to use, like we use tree of thought. It's sort of like a tree. It can be used like a tree, where the trunk is the main idea, the branches are the sub ideas, and you can go down as many paths as you wish. But it's especially useful with AI. It's a lot quicker. But it's all about getting, like, this is probably more about getting to know yourself. So you can ask very deep-rooted questions and use very, very fancy ways of analyzing your own past thinking. So in a nutshell, it would be, it's a good way for your personal growth to do that. Well, for me anyway. So I would recommend you to sit down when you're ready and start asking questions to your if you don't have a chat account yet. I would suggest doing that and just start asking questions. But once you have, I don't know, a good amount, I don't know what's considered a good amount, let's say 10 detailed conversations with the AI, I would say you could start asking questions to it about yourself. And if you're long-term user of the ChatGPT account, or even you're not, there is a excerpts feature where you can download all your conversations. Mine, for some reason, only go back to 2024, but it's a good chunk of time, so I have done that, and it's been interesting to hear, like, have more details of what I've been doing. And with Notion, you can use built-in prompts to automate what you're trying to discover even more. Anyway, there is one more. There's lots of different ways of diving into your data. So let me know in the comments what you have come up with and what you have discovered about yourself. And you don't even have to be that, like, this private, don't put anything private in there. But like for myself, I already knew this, but I'm hard on myself. So that's my read between the lines things. And I already knew that, but it can pick out things like that. So if you're comfortable with what you find, leave it in comments. Like the button, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and see you in the next one. Have a good day.